Greetings comrades, my name is Gigantles, and this isn't just the credits video for my Life at University Year 4 series, but for my Life at University series overall. Last year was meant to be my last year at university, but then nearing the end of my third year, I decided to do a master's degree in volcanology, in addition to my bachelor's degree in geology. It was a much simpler decision to decide not to do a it was a much simpler decision to not do a doctorate degree in some field of geology, because other than just how hard this last year at university was for me, and it was very hard, I don't really see a point to it. If there's something that I don't like about Western civilization at this point, is that everyone is they feel forced to do a degree of some kind in university, even if they aren't ready for it. And workplaces have picked up on this trend and said you must have a degree in something or whatever. And because of that, it means that some of us who would have just gone to university for a bachelor's degree now feel pressured into doing a master's degree as well to try and get above everyone else. And there's been some pressure, not as strong, but there has been some pressure for everyone who would have done a master's degree now to go and do a postgraduate degree. Sorry, I keep saying that. To do a doctorate degree now to get ahead of everyone else. But I feel no inclination for that. And as I already mentioned, my fourth year at university has been a lot harder than my last 3 years at university. To be fair, the first 2 years of my bachelor's degree in geology was really just setting me up for my third year, learning all the basics and stuff, so I could prepare better for my dissertation. When you're doing a dissertation for your bachelor's degree, I think you have 1.5 years to prepare for that, but when you're doing one for your master's, you have less than a year. And when I first learned that, I found it a bit intimidating, and I wasn't sure if I would have enough time to finish my master's dissertation with all the work that I needed to do based upon everything I did for my bachelor's dissertation. And the second half of my year for my master's was also quite module heavy, which meant that there was even less time for research, and that was, as I said, a bit intimidating and very stressful, but I finished all that and I'm glad I survived. Having endured through all that, I made the very easy decision to not do a doctorate, aside from just how expensive that would be anyway, because I see no reason to do a doctorate. I've already got a degree in geology and volcanology, and now I just need to find some place who will hire me. It's not easy to find a volcano in the British Isles to go to and study, but just pray that I find a job at some point next year, even if it's not geology related, just to get a foot in the ground. My accommodations were an interesting part of my life at university. My first year I lived in a studio by myself. My second and third year I had my own room, but I lived in a flat with a bunch of other people who didn't do a very good job of cleaning up after themselves. And then my fourth year was absolutely chaos, with a worse bug and pest infestation than any other accommodation I'd had, as well as the leak from the ceiling, the constant smell of cigarette smoke that I hated, and then my accommodation trying to scam me out of my deposit. I've definitely changed a lot as a person within those 4 years. When I first started making my life at university videos, I did it just as a bit of an update to my situation for my channel, as in channel updates. And then I started making a bunch of not very serious, but I guess a bit silly videos to try and replace the fact that I was not uploading gaming videos anymore, and I wanted to transition from gaming to educational content. And then as the years went by, I started focusing a bit more on theology overall, and giving a summary on what I learned and people I argued with on Facebook, and various other things going on. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to call the post-Life at University series, but and I know this is a very big if I'm ever... Thank you, notification. If I'm ever nominated for canonization or something, my Life at University series would probably be quite heavily scrutinized in in the canonization research, but I hope that it would show people that I did mature over these last 4 years, and hopefully became a bit more of a saintly person, even if I'm nowhere near completing that journey yet. But in spite of all the stress and the studies and stuff that were going on to me at university, I am glad for this period of my life in which it did help me mature as a person. It gave me various obstacles and challenges to overcome, and by overcoming them I was able to learn from those experiences and better apply them for when the same situations came about in the future, such as when I was very stressed out about whether or not I would finish my dissertation on time for my first dissertation at the end of my bachelor's degree. As I said, I was very stressed about it. I stayed up the entire night trying to finish everything on time, and then when my master's dissertation came about, I was a lot more calm and composed and able to finish it on time. So whilst I hope I don't have to stay up late at night trying to finish some project in the future, I am glad that I have learned how to remain calm under stressful situations, because by remaining calm I am able to think straight and not end up in a cycle of stress and confusion. And I hope that's something all students who go to university are able to learn themselves, because staying cool under pressure is an absolutely critical skill, especially if you're in a job that can turn stressful at a moment's notice or something like that. I'm sure many of you out there in such situations are able to confirm that. From a spiritual perspective, university has definitely been the most significant significant period of my life. I know I was confirmed several years ago back in college, and then there was the year of what I call the year of apostasy in my first year of college. I'm glad of all the progress that I have made when it came to spirituality and returning back to the faith. I cover that a bit more in my journey through the faith video. Not that everything in university has been easy from the spiritual perspective. I haven't covered it because it wasn't exactly relevant to me coming back into the church, but there have been multiple periods of tribulation and stress, and not dark nights of the soul, but points in time where it became hard to pray due to stress or me needing to focus on exams and not fulfilling my prayer quotas that I set for myself, as well as various things that have been going on in the church, which I would cover in more detail, but a combination of me forgetting at the time of making that video, or me trying to make a video and then things keep coming up and I keep putting it to the side, or new topics keep coming up. I would have covered more topics in general, but unfortunately technical issues prevented that from happening. Especially over this last year of university, where there were more technical issues in it than anything else, and also the stress of my assessments meant that it was quite hard to maintain a strict and disciplined spiritual life. But now that's over, I'm able to focus on that more and better refine myself as a Catholic. There's still a lot of progress to be done, but progress is being made nonetheless. And when it comes to trying to change a situation, the most important step you can take is the first one. Because when you take that first step, you know that you're beginning to make progress and that you can continue to take another step after that, and all the steps necessary after that. So, to really round up not just my 4th year at university, but also my other 3 years of university as well, I'm grateful for everyone who has supported me, for my parents and family offering their support, for all my tutors and lecturers who they didn't just provide lecture material, but also when people were struggling or didn't understand something, they took time to set up Zoom meetings with them. And after the pandemic and lockdowns came along, they spent months recording and uploading material for students to access for their assessments when they came along. And a personal thanks to all my tutors, my personal tutors who helped me with my dissertation and directed me to helping refine it, so that I was able to eventually pass all of my subjects and modules and dissertations and graduate from university. As I was recording that just now, I remembered that the motorboard I had ordered, because I wasn't able to attend my graduation, the motorboard I had ordered had arrived yesterday, and this is it. It's not as sturdy or as, I guess, tidy as the one from last year, which I have over here. Can you see that? I know I crop out part of the screen, but yeah, this is the motorboard I got last year. It's got a purple tassel, which is the color of my university. The tassel for my current university's motorboard is actually black, which I found a bit strange since that university's color is red. Hence why I got one with a red tassel. But I guess a bit of closure. There's a bit of closure now that I've got, 2 motorboards, 2 degrees from university from these last 4 years of study. But as I said, my graduations wouldn't have been possible without the support of my friends and family, and my tutors and lecturers, who helped me learn the skills necessary and the information required to do all my reports and dissertations. And I think everyone who prayed for me, whether it be all of you out there, my friends and family as well, my guardian angel in the communion of saints, and also for God for helping me during my spiritual reformation as I re-entered the church as I began university 4 years ago, and for helping refine me into being a better Catholic throughout those 4 years, and just always being there. There's a sense of comfort in knowing that there's always someone there for you, even if you can't see them, and the fact that God is always with you, even if you can't see him and you haven't been to church in a while due to whatever's going on in life. So I'm grateful for all that, and I pray that I'm able to have the same support as I finish university and now move into the world of work and continue the process of becoming a responsible adult. So I thank you all for your support over these last 4 years as I gained the skills and experiences necessary into helping mature into a responsible adult. And I ask for your continued support as I face the next few years with some uncertainty, but I know that as long as I'm able to fulfill God's vocation for me and the role he created me for on this earth, then I know everything will be fine in the long run. So with that, I conclude my 4th year of university and my Life at University series overall. So thank you all for your 4 years of support and watching my videos, and whatever I plan in the future, I pray that it is an improvement and builds upon everything that I have worked hard to build up over these last 4 years. So thank you all for watching. God bless you all. See you in the next video, comrades. Until then.